There's good news on this Good Friday. COVID hospitalizations continue going down here in Southeast Texas. We'll take a closer look here and you can see the spike in the winter months, but we've really been going down since mid-January and things are looking even better tonight. In Jefferson County, the hospitalization numbers have fallen off even more. Look at this. Less than 6% of the patients in ICU there have COVID. Roughly 7% of the patients in general beds have the virus. If you add up our patients, we have a total of 40 COVID patients in our hospitals. That's the lowest number we've had in months. Regionally, COVID patients make up roughly 15% of those in the ICU and more than 7% of the patients in general beds. And there's that overall COVID hospitalization rate that has now dipped to 8.5%. All of these metrics going down. So certainly at this point, Southeast Texas appears to be in a good place. Some other parts of the country, though, are seeing COVID surges. 12 News reporter James Grant talked with some Southeast Texas physicians to get their input on our numbers.
Beaumont Dr. Masanthi Levine says while COVID cases may persist for some time, Southeast Texas is in a good spot when it comes to having a grip on the virus.
I just can't see how it's going to be anywhere close to where it was, just because, again, our immunity is totally different than a year ago.
Dr. Levine says he doesn't see another major surge in cases like we've seen in the past. He says more Southeast Texans being vaccinated, coupled with less people showing severe COVID symptoms, indicates we're a lot better off than we were a year ago.
We're getting closer and closer to that magic number of, I think it's 70–80% of immunity that they would like to see before they can comfortably give the okay.
That magic number to reach herd immunity is 75%. And while Dr. Levine praises the progress we've made in getting Southeast Texans vaccinated, our local numbers say we still have a long way to go. For example, only 13% of people in Jefferson County have been fully vaccinated. And for those 80 and over in the county, roughly 3,000 are fully vaccinated, a lot less than all other age groups. Dr. Praful Joshi with Lamar University is also pleased with the COVID situation here in Southeast Texas, saying the number of cases, especially in more vulnerable populations, is down recently.
Very few people ages 65 plus, have gotten the disease. So it's been predominantly among the younger age groups. So their outcomes should be much better.
Both doctors say while they're not concerned about another surge in cases, they still want people to be safe and wear their masks this Easter weekend. In Beaumont, James Grant, 12 News.
Thank you, sir. The Rio Guest House in Beaumont will reopen Monday after being closed for a year due to COVID. That facility offers low-cost accommodations for out-of-town families whose loved ones who are being treated at our hospitals and medical facilities. Like many other things, the house was forced to close last March. The executive director says they're ready to start accepting guests and helping them get through these healthcare challenges.
It's extremely important for them to have a place that's close to the loved ones in the hospital, and also, people that are traveling from long distances to come to physicians and hospitals here, they have a place to rest, and it cuts out some of the cost and the burden of the financial expenses.
The facility has 19 guest rooms with a centralized kitchen and laundry facilities. They'll be open at 8 o'clock on Monday morning, and to book a reservation, there's the number to call, 212-6500. Well, parents, have you considered whether you'd vaccinate your child for COVID? That day may be coming sooner than you think. Johnson & Johnson has also started trials on younger teens. The company says it has expanded its Phase 2A trial to include teens between the ages of 12 and 17. Their study will evaluate the vaccine's safety at different dosages in both the single-dose form and the two-dose regimens. Right now, that vaccine, the J&J, is a single-dose shot for adults 18 and up. New tonight, this is a doozy. A North Texas 8-year-old boy has received his first dose of the COVID vaccine by mistake. His father registered him at a Dallas County drive-in vaccination site that was run by a fire department. The father says since the registration was successful, he thought it was okay. It wasn't until after the boy got the shot that the dad and officials realized, oops, there'd been a mistake.
They're in the car, there's a code. The paramedic did what that paramedic did for thousands of others for that day and went ahead and gave the vaccination and did not realize it was a child under the age of 18.
The father says his son experienced minor side effects like headaches and fatigue. Officials say they plan to track down the paramedic who administered the shot and gather more information about how that mistake happened. Well, what a beautiful way to end the week on this Good Friday. Checking our Roofing 911 Skycam, you see some clouds starting to creep into the triangle, and that is just a predictor of what's to come this weekend. Things are hopefully going to stay dry. Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn looking into your Easter forecast.
Well,
Patrick.
let's take a look at Saturday. We're expecting an upper-level disturbance, a pair of upper-level disturbances, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. The one on Sunday will be the stronger of the two, unfortunately. So we'll see an increase in cloud cover and mild afternoon temperatures on Saturday. Sunday, Easter Sunday, mostly cloudy skies, maybe an iffy chance of a sprinkle, but no significant rainfall expected as temperatures begin to warm up. Happy Easter, Southeast Texas. Looking at some high clouds over the area. Temperatures in the mid-60s right now. Should fall to the mid-50s at 11 p.m. So a lovely evening to take that stroll or that walk the dog this evening. Otherwise, should be in the low to mid and upper 40s across the area. And again, not a lot of help from Mother Nature this week. If your garden or backyard needs rain, it's time to drag the hoses out. More on your Storm Tracker forecast shortly on 12 News.
A developing story tonight in Orange where police are investigating a crash involving a car and a train. It happened around 3 o'clock on the tracks near Bob Hall Road and Cordray Avenue. We spoke with the mother-in-law of the woman who was driving that vehicle. She says remarkably her loved one is doing okay. Tonight she's thanking God for that outcome.
They're in the car, there's a code. The paramedic did what that paramedic did for thousands of others.
Unfortunately, not the correct sound bite that we were expecting to hear there. So we're going to roll on. We'll update you more on that train accident in Orange tonight on 12 News at 10 o'clock. Tonight, the sale of Ford Park is still pending. Officials had hoped to have everything finalized this week, but changes had to be made to contracts dealing with construction funding. Kevin Johnson, the president and the CEO of the Renaissance Development Group, that's the buyer, he spoke with 12 News today. He says that architects have been on board for the past 6 months. They're preparing to start construction projects before the YMBL South Texas State Fair. Johnson says they hope to have all the negotiations finalized by the middle of the month. New at 6, a push for diversity. In Texas, white people are twice as likely as Hispanics to have college degrees. That's a statistic that Lamar University hopes to change. LU has started a new outreach effort to recruit more Spanish-speaking students. Cristiana Ramos talked with Lamar Admissions to find out their game plan.
Out of 92 four-year colleges in Texas, Lamar University has one of the lowest enrollment rates of Latinx students. And the admissions team, well, they want to change that.
The transition from high school to college isn't easy, especially for first-generation students.
You know, I was the first person to go to college in my family. I didn't have that resource.
Jocelyn Alvarado finds herself thinking about her days as a Lamar student. Most of her classmates weren't Hispanic, and she says language barriers created challenges. That's why she now serves as one of 2 new bilingual admissions counselors at the university.
That was my biggest push for wanting to be in higher education, to bridge that gap. This is one of the initiatives that we're taking, is trying to hire more bilingual staff that can help them.
In 2017, 17% of Lamar students were Hispanic. That same year, 47% of students enrolled were white. This year, the number of Hispanic students has slightly gone up to 21%.
We are still striving to make sure that the numbers are still there and that we are raising that representation each year consecutively.
Jocelyn thinks it's a good move that the university has gone test optional. That means they don't require SAT or ACT scores from potential students.
We statistically know that students that come from lower income families or students, POC, are, less likely to have SAT prep or to be able to, afford the test or anything like that.
The admissions team also visits local schools, churches, and attends public events to get more students interested in enrolling in college.
Lamar hosts a stand at Tacos La Bamba every first and last Thursday of the month. For more information, you can visit our website. Cristiana Ramos, 12 News.
Ahead